All right, I'd like to welcome you to the Trimble Virtual World Early Experience Program Introduction for Civil Construction. Uh, Trimble Virtual World is a simulator that feeds positions into Siteworks to do all your positioning training uh, in a classroom setting without the expenses of physical hardware and software licenses. So this video is just a quick demonstration of what we have already for you, and I'll try to keep it short to less than 10 minutes. I use the construction site because most of the features that I've requested have been put in here, and I'll just give you a brief overview of the construction site. So I'm going to launch it, give you a little tour, let you see what we're talking about. So you've got a surveyor in the field. He may have a R780 without integrated surveying. So you are able to easily say, hey, on the target, I want it off. And now you're an R780 with a pole. We don't do tilt measurements at this time, but we also support SX12 and S series total stations or scanners. So if you want to work through the SX12 workflows, you can select SX12 and then in SiteWorks set it up, do 3-point resections and scan objects, do just the typical workflow that you would do in the field. So enough of that. To move the guy around, I'm using an Xbox controller, and I can walk him around on a site. I can walk him over near a control point, and when he gets close to the control point, if you with just a couple of just move the joystick around a little bit, and he will snap on site. You've also got commands like control and the arrow buttons, fine adjust to move him to get him right on the point, and you've got a full environment to explore, topo, do measurement inquiries to teach your customers. But we've also recently added a new feature under the main menu called quests. These quests allow you to basically do task-based things, and I've got one called Stockpile, and I'm just going to run it, and it puts the surveyor where you want him in the orientation that you want him, and then you can start to move him around this environment. These blue call-out areas are areas that you can give instructions to customer. So once you get into the blue circle, you see this says, hey, topo the stockpile, move to this point and set up your Trimble Siteworks to do continuous topo at 1 meter interval. Oh, okay. And once you click it, that blue area goes away. And you can see I've got other focus points around the site that will give you instructions as you go and explore the site. The yellow things that you see, these are called waypoints, and this is one of the new modes that we put in here. This is the manual, use the joystick or the keyboard commands to move the surveyor around. Or we have this new feature called that will navigate the surveyor right to where you want. So I'm going point to point, and he'll simply go to the first waypoint and stop. You can also turn off those waypoints so you don't see them. And this is where the real power then starts to come in for Siteworks. So if I now run Siteworks, all right, so now you can see the feed from Virtual World is feeding directly into Siteworks. And to take this even further, the design comes from Business Center. So the workflow from Business Center to Siteworks and from Siteworks back to Business Center can all be automated and can all be done inside the classroom without having the physical hardware. And I'm actually running the Siteworks emulator mode, so we can uh, do cost efficient training, get customers to learn Siteworks, and Trimble Business Centre workflows without ever having to go into the field. So inclement weather, cost of equipment and shipping, we can find ways to use this tool to make it easier for our trainers to teach people how to do this workflow in Siteworks. So I'll quickly do one more workflow. So uh, simply in virtual world, I'm going to stop. I'm going to load another quest. So I'm going to go to main menu. I'm going to go to quest, and I'm going to go to my area, and I'm going to run it. It's going to feed the position into Siteworks instantaneously, like you just saw on the screen. Uh, I'm going to set Siteworks into the walking mode, and I'm going to, fix distance every meter, all the things that you typically do. I want to create a area, so I'm going to do a new line, and I'm just going to call it an area and accept. I'm going to walk, and the task is to measure the, the area between the orange cones and down the road. There's some red cones, and the surveyor needs to go do that. So I'm going to send him walking till he gets to the first point, and he'll stop. And I've got Siteworks ready to go in walking mode, and I hit record. And I send him walking now. I'm going to do one loop. So I just put it in the one loop mode, and I hit the space bar, and he takes off walking, and he's measuring the area of the road. I'm going to turn off the waypoints so it looks a little bit better. I'm talking to the students. I'm telling them what they're doing. Continuous topo, you want to make sure that the tip of the pole stays on the ground. This would be a good place for a wheel, which we have on the store if you was doing this kind of workflow and you wanted to maintain height. But if you're just trying to get area, down past the red cones and then back down the other side of the road, and he'll walk this one path until he gets to the end. And when he gets to the end, he'll stop. And then I finish the workflows in Siteworks. The other good benefit of this is this one surveyor can feed multiple devices or laptops running Siteworks or the Siteworks emulator to train more than one person. So once I get back to the beginning, I simply stop the line, stop collecting. I'm ready to close this area, and to close areas, the best way to do that is to start measuring a new line. And as soon as I say line 3 area, it's going to close back to where I started. So now I've got an area, and I want to know what the area is in this line. And I go in and line information, and it'll tell me the length of the line, the slope of the line, but the area is what I was after, and it's 605.342. And you can measure more and more as you go through this, different intervals, but you can teach the students how to do what they do in Siteworks. So that's area, volume I've got, and site cal. I can actually do the site cal in here.